Hello, everybody. It's great to see you all. This is an amazing, a really interesting process. So it's great to be a part of it, so thank you. My name's Martin Dorey. I am a writer, and I guess you'd call me an environmental activist. And I was the founder of a kind of campaign called the 2 Minute Beach Clean. Anybody heard of it? Yeah? Okay, great, that's fantastic. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about that and my thoughts about how I got there, certainly with relation to awareness. So we start back in 2007. I moved to Horns Cross, went down to Peppercombe Beach. Everybody know Peppercombe? Fabulous beach. The place was an absolute mess. It was literally knee-deep in plastic bottles. And I kind of had this angry moment, and I vowed there and then that I would do something. And that kind of was the sort of turning on of the switch, if you like, to get me to do something. So I organised a beach clean. I got the National Trust involved, I got the Rangers down in Westwood Ho involved, I got John Rouse involved, we got the local primary school involved. We cleared up the beach. We got a keg of beer from Sharps, which was wonderful, and we had a big party on the beach afterwards with our clean beach. It was a lot of hard work. It really was. But because I was able to draw on all these people, it was not so overwhelming as it might have been to start with if I'd done it on my own. Fast forward to 2013, I moved to Bude, and if everybody remembers the massive storm Hercules, remember that storm? The beach huts at Crooklets, I remember going down there in the morning, first thing in the morning, and the beach huts are absolutely wrecked, rubbish all over the beach. And it was kind of, just looking at it, it was so overwhelming. I don't, God, what am I going to do about this? You know, and the thought of organising all those people and getting everybody together and doing all this stuff, and you know, it was just like, oh God, how am I going to do this? So I thought, well, I'll just go and take a bag and I'll fill it up and I'll take that away and then I'll go back and do another one. And actually I hit upon this idea of doing, well, why don't we all, if everybody did 2 minutes at a time, then actually it would be a lot easier. So I started posting pictures of my little 2 minute beach cleans onto social media and just said, I'm going down to the beach, I'll do another 2 minute beach clean. And the idea being that it was so overwhelming, the state of the beach, call it the planet. And actually what I decided to do was decided I would try and control what I could do. And then I would tell everybody about that. And then we would see if we could add up, you know? So if I do 2 minutes, you do 2 minutes, that's 4 minutes, 6 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes. And it all adds up. And now, however many years later, 10 years later, I posted the first picture to Instagram in November of 2013. I just looked this afternoon, and there are 175,000 posts on Instagram. For those of you, it's just basically a post with a hashtag of people using that hashtag. And they've come from all around the world, 175,000 of them, which is the equivalent of 35 weeks of one person working 24 hours a day, picking up litter. And it's kind of, it's amazing, really, that it's been able to happen. And the reason I was able to do it was because I was in control of it, because I controlled what I wanted, how I did it. You know, I took something that I could manage. And then the next thing I did was I educated myself. So as I got into this process of kind of going to the beach, and I'd pick up a bottle, but I'd pick up 5 bottle caps for every bottle I picked up. And then you realize that the bottles have got tops on. And the reason that bottles end up on the beach is because they've got tops on. And then you work out, well, why are there more tops? Well, because the tops float. Bottles only float if they've got the lids on, because they've got air inside them. So then you kind of go, oh my God, okay, well, hang on, there are different types of plastic. Then you start to get into plastic, and you start to get into the subject. And then when I was able to kind of learn enough about this subject, I'm a writer, so I thought, well, the natural thing is for me to write a book. So I wrote a book. And I just kind of delved more and more deeply into the subject because I was in control of it, because it's my project, and it was 2 minutes that I could do. And I just let it go, and let it take me. I mean, now the 2 Minute Foundation has got 10 or 12 employees. There's an office in Bude. They run the beach school. I'm not anything to do with it anymore, but it was the start of that process. And I think it sort of allowed people permission, if you like, to stop. Because when you are faced with something that's so overwhelming, you don't know what to do. And you don't know where to start. But if you start with your 2 minutes, you stop after 2 minutes, but you don't have to. You can carry on. And that's the point of it. And I think that's why people really got into it and understood it, and they felt that they could contribute. So people would say, I've done my 2-minute beach clean. I'll do more next time. It's like, yeah, brilliant. You've done 2 minutes, do 4, and then do 8. And then suddenly people are starting to educate and inform themselves. And then they're sharing that information by saying, oh, did you know that, plastic, and I'm going to get on to something important here, but I've got a dry mouth. The more you look into it, plastic is climate change, because plastic is made from fossil fuels. And there was a study in Honolulu a couple of years ago. I wrote about it in my book when I discovered it. It was quite stunning. That the researcher was studying gases coming from items in plastic tubs. And she discovered that there were more climate gases coming from the plastic tubs than there were from the things in the plastic tubs. So what that conclusion was that plastic that's in the ocean is giving off gases that are contributing to global warming. So actually, that 2-minute beach clean suddenly starts to become a part of this massive project that's so overwhelming in itself, but you're tackling this bit that you can tackle, and that's the most important thing. So you've got control. You're in control. You're doing what you can, and that might not be picking up plastic off the beach. It might be walking to work instead of driving, and it might be that instead of trying to tell people at work that you shouldn't get out of your car because it's bad for the climate. Okay, I've got a minute left. Get out of your car because it's bad for the climate. You walk to work and say, oh my God, I saw a badger this morning. Did you see the crows fly over or the geese go over to Mare Lake? And you can talk to them, and that's all you have to do, because then maybe someone else will walk, and that's 2 minutes, 4 minutes. And there's another thing I want to talk to you about really quickly, is that the education. So talking about plastic, if you decided you wanted to sort of cut plastic out of your life, you don't have to go to the beach. You can actually just stop using it as a consumer. And one of the really great example of this is the refill shop we have in Bude. I'm sure you all know it exists. Now, the problem with the refill shop is that it's too expensive compared with the supermarket shop, and that's why people don't go there. Education. 3 litres, it's £3 for a litre of washing up liquid in the refill shop. It's £5 for a litre of Ecover. £2 cheaper. For 100 grams of basmati rice, it's 39p in the refill shop. It's 58p if you buy Tilda basmati rice in the supermarket. 25p for 100 grams of white pasta in the refill shop. And it is 30p for Napolina pasta in the supermarket. Education. So maybe, did you know I can get oats? I can get, where are we? 35p for mixed herbs, and in Sainsbury's it's £1.10 for the same amount. Oh my God, can you? Control, education, and sharing. And that's it, really. I've probably gone over my 8 minutes. But that's how I feel about it. And in terms of raising awareness, you don't have to use social media. You can just talk to your friends, because 2 minutes plus 2 minutes equals 4 minutes. Okay, thank you.